Hey mates, what's up? Welcome back to CP Breeze Tech. I hope you are all doing well. Today we're going to dive into the Monero-Node, especially the heart of it, the Monero-D. Let's break down in a simple and practical way what is Monero-D. So what is it? Monero-D is a daemon software that includes with the Monero package suite. When you download the Monero wallet package, Monero-D is one of the binaries you get. So what is a daemon? Daemon is simply mean background process. In Bitcoin, for example, the wallet handles both of your account and the blockchain. But in Monero, it's separate to two rules. The Monero-D manage the blockchain and the wallet manage your account. So if you run Monero-D on your own machine, you're running a local node. If Monero-D process is running on another device, that's a remote node. And wallets must connect to some daemon to create and send transaction. Wallet cannot send by itself transaction unless it connects to a node, Monero-D daemon. Let's understand how the communication work. The RPC protocol versus P2P protocol, point to point. So there are two types of communication you must know. The wallet to the node, this is RPC protocol. So RPC stands for remote procedure call. This allows the wallet ask the node things like, what is my balance? What's the next block height? Can you broadcast this transaction, please? So RPC used only between your wallet and your Monero-D instance, your node, locally or remotely. Local node or remote node. The second type of communication is node to node, P2P protocol. So the Monero-D syncs the blockchain by talking to another nodes using the P2P network. Not RPC, remember RPC it's wallet to a node, P2P it's node to node. So the Monero-D, while communicating with the other nodes, it does things like download the blocks from other nodes peers, upload blocks, maintain consensus, find new peers in the networks, and etc. So remember, wallet to node it's RPC communication, node to node is P2P communication. The default ports Monero-D software is using, so P2P, that means peer-to-peer, it's TCP port 18080, that's node to node. RPC using TCP port 18081, so that's wallet to node. Those ports can be changed, of course, that's the default, but you can change if you want. Another important thing to mention is that RPC is not encrypted by default. It's plain HTTP. This means if someone sniffs your traffic, you can see your RPC request. P2P, the protocol node to node communication, is encrypted by default. So when the nodes talk between themselves, it's encrypted. But when your wallet talk with the node, it's clear text. They can see everything. So bear that in mind, okay? But there are solutions for that, I will explain later. But just know that everybody can see your messages between your wallet and the node. Your IP address, the request for block, and every type of communication, they can see it clear text. Alright, so Monero-D can run as private node, public remote node, a Tor-only node over the Tor network, onion address. And it can even mine if you want, but with today's hash rate, I don't think it's quite practical unless you have super powerful machine that you can use for both purposes, but it can mine if you want. It's part of the Monero package. Alright, so let me show you a couple of useful Monero-D argument, options, command. So if you will type in the terminal Monero-D -- help, you see all the available options and parameters. If you run Monero-D -- version, you will see the Monero daemon version information. And if you run Monero-D -- OS version, you see the operation system, the architecture of the binary file, and etc. Alright, so let's run the daemon with the default command without any arguments and walk through what's happening behind the scenes. Alright, so I'm running Monero-D default command. And the first message you see is initializing core. This is the main Monero logic behind being loaded. The core includes blockchain management, block validation, transaction validation, miner rules, and etc. So basically everything related to processing, validating, and maintaining Monero blockchain. The next output we see is initializing P2P server. Here the Monerod is setting up peer-to-peer networking system. This was allowed nodes connect to other Monero nodes, downloading blocks from the network, upload blocks to other peers, and participate in Monero Swarm. So what is Swarm? Swarm is a small group of peer nodes your node assigned to for syncing and network efficiency. So it doesn't connect with all the nodes of the network, it connects with small group of nodes. This is the P2P network running on port 18080, not the RPC server. Remember, RPC is for wallets. The nodes talking one to each other with P2P protocol over port 18080. After that, you see initializing core RPC server. This is where the RPC server is prepared. Monero-D binds with RPC interface, aka your wallet. So in this case, it's 127.0.0.1 localhost address. So it means only that the machine that's running this node can connect to it on port 180.81. So it means that no other person on your LAN or public internet can connect unless you change the bind address to 0000 or your local IP network. So if you change to 4 zeros, all your interface will listen in. Bear that in mind, it can be a security issue. Or you can assign it to local interface, like let's say your network card or whatever you have. Alright, so finally it's starting P2P network loop. This is the point that where the Monero becomes fully active. At this moment, the Monero-D connect to peers network, start syncing with the blockchain, being relaying transaction, and enter to normal operation mode. The daemon is now fully running. The RPC server also active now. The RPC allows to GUI wallet connect, CLI wallet connect, or any other wallet software or script to communicate with your node. The RPC runs on port 180.81. Remember again, in our case, Monero-D bounds to 127.0.0.1 localhost port 180.81, the default. That's meaning that only the local machine can access the RPC interface unless you explicitly change it to another IP address. Alright, let's stop the daemon by pressing Ctrl+C. As mentioned earlier, if you simply run Monero-D, it will start the daemon with the default setting. For example, the default blockchain database location is home, the username, and .bitmonero. It's a hidden file and hidden directory. If you want to change the database location, you can use the Monero-D --datadir and the location you want. In this case, I use external hardware, so mount storage Monero, and the default log file store under home directory .bitmonero and bitmonero.log, and the location of the logs. And if you want to change the log file location, run Monero-D with log file equal and the location you want. If you want to run node that allowed wallet on the same machine to connect, use Monero-D --RPC bind IP and the local host 127.0.0.1 --bind RPC bind port, and you will use the default port 180.81 or any other port you want. And to run a Tor only node, use Monero-D --proxy 127.0.0.1 9050 port. That means that when you're running Tor only mode, the Monero-D routes all outgoing connection through the Tor SOC socket, and P2P sessions are built over Tor circuits. And of course, you need to edit the Tor configuration file in order to use the Tor network. I will show you how to do it in the next video. Alright, let's do one more useful example. Let's run Monero-D --D tag. That's run Monero-D in the background, like daemon mode. Okay, so now the Monero-D is running in the background. Let's open the GUI wallet and I'll show you that it still connects to the Monero-D, even though it's running in the background. As you can see, it's sync locally. Okay, let's close the GUI wallet. By the way, you can stop the Monero-D from the GUI wallet as well, or just run the command Monero-D -exit and it will stop the daemon as well. If you want to see the daemon detail, you can write psox and see the process ID of the daemon. You can also kill the process and it will kill it, but it's better close it with exit or via the GUI. Okay, if we run Monero-D -- no interactive, it's prevent from the Monero-D ask any question. It's useful when you run script or automated setup where you don't want any user interaction. So let's look in the interactive mode first. Let's run the Monero-D on default mode. And while we're running it, you can type commands directly into the terminal, like help. It shows the available options and command. You can write status. It's show the correct node status, version, the Monero-D version, sync info, show you the list of peers your node connected, and sync details. Bands, it show you the list of bands IP. You can also create a text file that you will run while executing the Monero-D, and it will block those IP addresses because some of the nodes are malicious. And if you want the list of dangerous IPs, of course, it's very dynamic. You can look for it, or I can edit in the description of this video. Okay, so let's run Monero-D again, and this time with the options no sync. And as you can see, this tells Monero not to sync from the network, which is very useful if you're using offline mode. Once it's run, you see that it doesn't start syncing at all. So you can do debugging or check whatever you want without the Monero start syncing with the blockchain. Okay, more real life example. Start the Monero-D as a background process. Monero-D -- non-interactive detach. Now you run ps-ox and grab Monero-D. You'll see the process ID in the list, and you can see that the GUI still can connect. And if you want to stop, just run Monero-D exit. Alright, so now that our Monero node is fully synced, let's run Monero-D interactive mode again, and I'll show you how fast the wallet is being synced. Alright, so run Monero-D in default mode. See, now you are synchronized with the network. You may start Monero wallet CLI, but we will start the GUI. It's easier to follow, and it should immediately be synchronized. Tack, you see, fully synchronized, wallet synchronized, daemon synchronized, running locally. I will stop it now. Control C, leave the interactive mode. See, disconnected. Let's try to start it from the wallet. Start daemon, should sync immediately. Back, you see, connected, and you can see it started as a daemon mode in the background. Right, ps-ox grab Monero-D. Okay, so you run it in the background with those flags. DTAG background, check update disable, non-interactive, and max currency. I don't know what this means. I guess it's related to the cores. Let's see what does it mean. Probably the CPUs. Yeah, to current jobs, reduce CPU user. So I guess this is attribute that you can use less CPU overload. Yeah, okay. Let's stop it. See it if it has been stopped. Yeah, it's not running in the background anymore. So as you can see, you can do everything in the GUI that is similar to the CLI wallet. I guess there are more things that you can do in the CLI mode. Sometimes, for some reason, if you're running wrong flags, it will stack and you cannot close it. Exit flag, so you just write kill at the process number, and if it still refuses to be shut down or the watchdog restart it, you can write kill -9 and the process number, but this is not healthy. Can create zombies. Alright, mate, let me show you another example of running the Monero-D with a couple of more useful flags in case you would like to run it as a public node. So I prepared this text file. ChatGPT helped me to explain what each flag is meaning. So Monero-D, that's the daemon we're running. The data dir, it's where we want the blockchain will be downloaded and storage. RPC bind IP, as you can see, I use 000. It means that all the interfaces will be used to bind with wallets. So your LAN, your WAN, your VPN, everything. If you want it locally only, write localhost. If you want on specific interface, just write the IP of the specific interface you want. And the RPC bind port, I keep it on default, 180.81. The log file, I keep it on default as well. You can change it if you want. DTAC, run it as a background. And disable non-interactive, we don't need it because it's running on the background. No need console mode. So restricted RPC, it's mean that safer for public usage, disable dangerous RPC calls, because some wallet can send commands and reconfigure the node, so it's quite dangerous. So if you use it as a public node, it's better to restrict the RPC option. That's what the wallet can do. Sign transaction, but we don't want more than that, and get the blockchain info and etc. And if you want that the wallet will require username and password, you can set it here. RPC login for the RPC access. Wallet need username and password. P2P bind IP, again here you can set it on all the interfaces. Depend how many network cards you have or whatever you configure. LAN, WAN, VPN, etc. P2P port 180.80, and remember, don't use it for RPC because RPC it's 180.81. And if you want to manually add a peer node, you can set it here as well. If it's a node that you trust, and you can advertise yourself as public node for other wallets and node to node. Alright, so I won't run this command on my machine, but let's change it to local. So I'll do it localhost, RPC default, everything default, P2P bind. Yeah, we can keep it. Actually, this one we don't need. But this one we don't need. And this is not public node. I just want to show you example how to run it. And username and password we don't need. Okay, let's try to run it with. Okay, let's see. Okay, now it's running in the background. Let's check. Yeah, it's running with all the attribute we gave it. Check with the wallet. Okay, fully sync. See? Cannot stop it from the GUI. Need to stop it from here. Oh yeah, see, it's stuck. Just a quick note. If you run a node with the attribute public node, you're allowing external wallets to use it. This helps the Monero network, but it increases your bandwidth and CPU usage, and it does not reduce your privacy. So if you want to contribute to the community, please do. And it is better to set the Monero node over Tor network because it's a huge hassle to deal with network configuration. And if people access your node from the outside of your home network, over the ClearNet, you usually have to deal with port forwarding, firewalls, NAT, and things like static IP, dynamic DNS, or VPN, even small VPS as relay. For most people, the easiest option is simply using Tor, since it avoids all the networking hassle setup. It's not perfect everywhere, but it's works well in most cases. So if you decided to run public node over the ClearNet, as mentioned earlier, bear in mind that RPC communication between the wallet and the node is not encrypted by default. It's clear text over HTTP. So if you're exposing your node over the ClearNet and not using Tor, you should use HTTPS. Self-signed certificates are fine for personal or local usage, but if it's a public node, you have to use trust certificate like Let's Encrypt. It's the easiest and recommended. because if you're using your own self-signed certificate, your user probably will get warning that the communication is not secured. So it's always best to sign certificate with certificate authority like Let's Encrypt or any other. I won't go into certificate setup in this video to keep it simple, but if you want full guide, let me know and I will make a tutorial about it. Just write in the comment. Alright, so in the next videos, I'll show you how to configure Monero-D to start automatically on boot, load all the settings from configuration file, run it as a private or public node, operate over the Tor network, and many other useful setups. So stay tuned. You can also read more in the official Monero-D guide, getmonero.org. I will add the link in the description. And if you find this video useful, please like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment if you have any question. I'll reply as soon as possible. So thanks for watching. I hope it was helpful, useful, and beneficial for you. All the best. Cheers.